All right, Jeff, tell me when you're ready because I want to know this. Like,
Okay, all right.
You're about to teach me something brand new.
Oh, well,
right?
hopefully, I don't know. It's different perspectives, different philosophies, but they all lead to the same result, or at least that's the effort, and that's the trial. So,
dude, I love that. All right, Jeff, tell me when you're ready. She's about to drop some bombs on us. Dude.
I don't know about that. This is all things I've learned along the way.
That's what this podcast is about. Is things that you do. It's not necessarily telling people what to do. It's telling people what we've done.
Yeah.
And if they get benefit from that, if they can get value from what we're trying to do or what we've done and the lessons that we've learned and the mistakes that we've made, this is for you.
That's all that we could do, right?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm not going to claim I know everything. I'm not going to say do what I do to be successful. I don't even know what I'm doing because it changes from day to day. You learn more. So,
well, I've got some philosophy on like the older I get. So let's talk about that as well, because, as mid 50s right now, right? So I'm in the second part of my life, I feel. So I've learned so much. And like when you're younger, you're constantly looking forward. And then you get to the point where you're like comfortable where you're at, or hopefully, because you've worked towards it, right? You're comfortable. You're like, okay, but you don't want to coast. You still want to learn. You still want to discover. But at the same time, you're like, you have a reverence. You have like this beauty about what happened prior. You do want to look back a little bit and understand and break down kind of how you got where you're at, and then use that as a springboard for going a little bit further. So anyway.
You just build on everything. It's
build
just
on it,
experiences that you build on.
Yeah.
I love that.
But you want to learn history. You want to learn the foundation and really kind of, I mean, maybe you don't, maybe you do. This is where I'm at least in my life. So we'll talk about that. So yeah, I'm an open book. Ask away. You can't ask personal questions. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
I'm here, man. I want to, so what I want to be doing, I want to learn. I want to meet people. I want to shake hands. I want to open doors. I'm brand new to this town. And I want to get myself in as many stages as possible. I've got a lot to showcase. I've got a lot of skill. I've got a lot of knowledge, and I want to inspire and teach, just like I've been inspired and I've been taught. I want to just spread the love.
I love that.
And if I can make a couple bucks doing it, man, I'm happy.
Oh, that's
win-win.
That's the dream, huh?
Yeah.
I love it.
Share a glass of wine and a good meal and inspire some people, and in return get inspired, and I go to bed happy.
Well, very cool. I met you through, I met you at Fête Rouge, right?
Yes.
Through the Eat the Boot Boys.
Yes.
I call them Eat the Boot Boys because my daughter calls them the Boot Boys.
Yeah.
So they're now it's just the Boot Boys to me. But I met you then, and then I met you at another event after that. I can't remember what it was, but it seemed like you were everywhere. And then I followed you on Instagram, and then I saw all the cool things that you were doing. I was like, dude, I got to talk to this person.
I really appreciate that. Thanks.
I don't know much about you, but I am dying to learn.
I'm here for you. I'm still trying to figure out who I am too. So it makes two of us.
Well, maybe we don't have to figure out who we are. Let's talk about where we've been.
Sure.
So where did you start?
So, wow. Okay. I'm going to go way back.
Go way back.
Go way back. Okay.
Yeah.
So I started basically like I started when I was like 6 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old. I am the oldest of three. I have two sisters in my family, mom and dad, myself, and two sisters. My father was English and born and raised in England, and then moved to the United States. Met my mom, who was Eastern European, Northern American descent, and they met, produced me and my sisters, and we moved to South Florida. And I grew up in Miami. I grew up in South Florida, so I grew up with a father and like traveling from the United States to the UK back and forth, and with a mom like New York, raised Eastern European, Polish, German descent. So food and culture, and then my father had the food and culture from Europe and the UK, and then I was in South Florida, and then I just was like, surrounded by food and surrounded by culture. And I had all this just piled on top of me. And so not only was I traveling when I was a little kid, because we didn't go to sleepaway camp. We didn't go on like lavish vacations. We went to Europe. We went back and forth, it was basically family. So I started my culinary journey, at least in that part of my life. there in that time when I was traveling and getting that exposure and getting that experience with all that travel. And then growing up in a house full of food, full of action, in sports, in school, a lot of friends coming and going, and then just never ending source of learning and opportunity,
inspiration,
and
too,
inspiration,
huh? Yeah.
which led to inspiration. So yeah, that's kind of how I got my start. And early on, so I didn't really choose culinary in the beginning. I was into architecture. I was into drafting. I was into design and form and how it relates to the user and myself, and in the form and in the design. And that's what I was into. So I took drafting in school and I took architecture in school. Quickly decided that wasn't really for me. Floundered around for a little while. And then kind of fell into culinary. I'd always been cooking. I'd always been in restaurants because that's an easy job to get when you're a teenager. You know, I was in a steakhouse in Miami chopping broccoli and making salad dressings for a salad bar. That's pretty much how I started. And then doing that, but looking at the kitchen and looking at the cooks in the kitchen, like flipping steaks on the grill and sauteing pastas and making rice and potatoes. And I was like, I want to learn how to do that. Screw the salad bar crap. I want to learn how to do this. So kind of like really kind of asking a lot of questions and trying to needle my way into learning how to cook a steak on a grill, for instance, or a chicken, or the marinade that went into making that steak taste really good. So that's how I got into that. Floundered around for a little bit in school, and then just kind of was like, you know what? I really love to eat. Maybe I should just learn how to cook professionally. So I started in culinary and went to university, got a degree in hospitality management. And then I was been in kitchens ever since, traveling and been in kitchens. And I have to say, like, I've always had work. You know, it's learn a trade, and you'll always be working. It may not be the most glamorous job. It may be the crappiest hours, the crappiest days, especially with culinary and the hospitality, because people's leisure time is your busy time. So you're going through the trenches and you're learning. But if you're dedicated and you are hungry to learn, so to speak, then you can. So that's pretty much what I did. And that's how I got my start. And here I am.
Wow.
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Wow. So what brought you to Baton Rouge?
So it's kind of okay. So growing up in Florida, growing up in South Florida, I was always interested in learning about culinary and traveling around, like I was saying. I've always been interested in Southern food, always been interested in soul food, always been interested in the Southern foodways. I needed to go around the United States and learn. I needed to go overseas and cook. And I was in Chicago for a little while. I was cooking there. I went to San Francisco in the Bay Area, cooked there for a long time. I was in the Northwest, cooked there for a while, had a business. But I've always had a love affair with Southern food and Americana and learning about Southern food. And I've always been interested in all things Creole and Cajun. I got a book many, many, many years ago by Chef John Foles, who everybody knows here. He wrote the Encyclopedia of Creole and Cajun Cuisine, and I've pretty much read that book cover to cover. It's gigantic. Anybody that has that book, it's like 20 pounds of book. And I was really enthralled with the history. And so I'd always wanted to come back here. When I was in college, I went to Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and it was just a drunk fest.
Yeah.
You know, everybody goes there, right? Especially when you're in South Florida. It's an easy drive up and back.
I'm surprised you remembered anything about it.
It was a blur, but, you know, I remember the colors and the sounds. But that was just New Orleans, and and you're a teenager, and you're just kind of sowing your oats and figuring things out, and you're basically drinking until you puke, and then you're drinking some more, and then you got to go back and write a paper and turn that in the next day, kind of thing. So... but I really wanted to get into the culture and really into the cuisine. And so that was that was shelved for a while because I was sowing my oats in the Northwest and the West Coast, right? And then in Chicago when I was there. So essentially fast forward, I was on a television show called Chopped for Food Network. I met a gentleman there on set named Jay Ducote. He and I became almost instantaneous friends. We were adversaries on the show. We were going up against one another.
It's hard not to fall in love with Jay.
You know, Jay's an amazing guy. He's been such a catalyst for getting me here and opening doors and being such a welcome mat for all things Louisiana, and especially Southern Louisiana, introduced me to so many people. And then that's opened doors and helped me network and then grow as I'm continuing to do, because I'm just so new here. So much to discover.
When you say so new, like how new is new?
Yeah, so new is pretty much, I mean, right now we're in the early part of December, and I got here the end of August.
Whoa, that is new.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So, and then I was gone for a month. I was traveling around Europe.
So you came here in August, and then you left for Europe for a month, and then you came back.
And then I came back.
So you haven't really been here that long at all.
No. And I found a house, and I bought a house, and settling in. I just got a couch last night. And I have a bed to sleep in. So it's kind of like starting from scratch again. But I'm here with skill to present and a lot of knowledge to showcase and teach and then cook. So that's what's exciting. So Jay was like this key to getting here. And the more I came back and forth over the last few years, the more I've fallen in love with it. And, I'd been, for 25 years, I've been in the Northwest and the West Coast, and absolutely love it. Incredible part of the world, beautiful seasons, the food, the culture, the everything is amazing. But I was just kind of doing what I wanted to do. I'd done what I wanted. I was getting tired. I was getting bored of it. And I was ready to warm up a little bit as well. It's cold there. You get older and you get up and you're achy and you're stiff and you're like, you know what? I need to warm up.
Yeah.
There's no better place to warm up than Southern Louisiana.
It's only cold like 3 weeks out of the year. So
yeah, see, I've got this sweatshirt on, right? This is it. This is my jam, man. This is how I live. But the idea is that I was ready. I had a time in my life when I could actually be here, and that's what's exciting. So now I'm coming here with all this skill and all this energy that I want to learn and overturn rocks and talk to people like yourself and learn about the culture, learn about the history, and then learn about some more food that I don't know about. And so that's sort of the nutshell about how I got here. Kind of a quick way of how I got here. Jay was a catalyst. I came in. Absolutely fell in love with it. Every time I'd fly back and forth, I'd be like, really love it here, man. This is really cool. Could I make this work? Is it the time? And I just pounced on it. I ran Sugar's Barbecue catering business. I taught barbecue classes and had a food truck and a food trailer. Worked with amazing people, and the business was great. We were super busy, but I faced a lot of burnout, and I was just starting to do what I wanted to do with that business, and it was running its course, and I was becoming less inspired. I was becoming really burned out and very tired. And that burnout and that fatigue turned into resentment. And when you resent something that's been your passion, food is my passion. Meeting people is my passion. Teaching is my passion. I want to inspire others as I've been inspired, right? Because at the end of the day, you could have a ton of money. What are you going to do? Be buried with it? Yeah. So you could have a ton of knowledge. What are you going to do? Keep it inside your head? To me, that's stupid. I want to share. I want to share what I know. Am I an expert in everything? No. Because I can always learn, right? So I've got a lot that I can share. And so I'm here for that. And if I could inspire somebody, a young woman or a little kid or whatever, a young girl, like to get into culinary, get into cooking, then that's awesome. Because we need chefs. We need, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's a dying industry, but it's long hours and a lot of people don't want to work that way anymore. And I kind of grew up old school, right? So where you are working all day, 7 days a week, 80 hours a week, you know what I mean? Like nonstop. It's not glamorous. It's hard work, but at the same time, it's like, you got to put your, it is fulfilling though. I mean, you're a restaurant guy, right? So, you see this time and time and you work those hours. And people think that just, you're on the line, you're working those hours, you're running the show in the kitchen. When you're an owner, when you're an operator, you're working even longer hours. You wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep thinking about it. You don't stop. It's full time. It's full time. In every sense of that word. It's in your bloodstream. That's it. Doesn't matter. And everything comes down on your shoulders. So that just got the better of me. I burned out and I was like, you know what? This is a great opportunity. I've got this beautiful, gorgeous, gigantic house. It was just me. I don't even own a dog or a cat. And I was like, this is a prime time for me to close up shop and go. And now I'm here. So
burnout, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there and I've learned how I get out of it.
Yeah.
So what do you think caused your burnout?
Probably probably all the hats I was wearing in the business as the owner, operator. I was part of the mechanism. Like I was a working owner. So I wasn't just, I had a team working for me and I was in the background. I was every part of the cog in the wheel. So not only was I there day in, day out, every single day, in this particular instance, Sugar's Barbecue. So I was doing brisket and pork and ribs and chicken. I had a crew working, say at the food trailer, doing some of the small meats. I was doing some of the larger meats off-site at a commercial kitchen and then bringing them in, smokers and everything that I had set up and bringing that stuff in. I was doing the shopping. I was doing the prep, the cooking, start to finish, talking to the customers, of course, doing the shopping, doing the ordering, inventory, things of that nature. And so, and I was just mentally getting just like wrung out, and I was very unhealthy physically. That was triggering a lot of unhealthy mentally. Wasn't taking care of myself. I'd gained a ton of weight. I was just sick and wasn't sleeping. It was a worry. It was financial. It was relationships that would come and go and fall victim to it, as a lot of us have experienced. Because when you're full throttle in what you do and what you love and your passion, the world around you is kind of static, right? And so sometimes families fall by the wayside, partners fall by the wayside. You forget things, sometimes you forget to pay bills. So you put all that together and it was just burnout and fatigue. And that's pretty much what caused the burnout. And I needed to make a change. And I was sitting on a ton of equity in my house. And I was like, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity. It's not about starting over. It's about taking everything I learned and plugging it into a new environment.
So many people can't recognize burnout when it's happening. How did you recognize it? What was that thing that happened that's like, whoa, I'm burnt out. I need to make a change.
When you start resenting what you love to do.
Oh.
For instance, I was trimming briskets and I was trimming pork butts and cooking them and, running the smoker and making sure temps are good and start to finish. And you're doing it every day, and then again, combined with not a healthy mindset and physical situation, that was pretty much what happened. And it wasn't, I was like, okay, I either have to kill this or it's going to kill me. And that was the conversation. I mean, that was a conversation I had with my staff. I was working with a woman who was my right-hand person. We were best friends. And she was like so much of what Sugar's Barbecue was all about. And I started in competition barbecue. I started doing it for fun. I started going on weekend competitions where I would, cook ribs and chicken and brisket and pork ribs and pulled pork and pork shoulder and turn it in on a foam box and get judged by judges. And it was so much fun. We were just burning meat in a parking lot. That's kind of the, and it was great. The camaraderie with other
love how
teams.
You described it like that.
Burning meat in a parking lot at 2 a.m. That's kind of what we were doing, drinking beer and, and talking trash and drinking mash pretty much is what the root of it was. But it was a camaraderie, and I started doing really well as a female barbecuing competitor in the Northwest. I was gaining a lot of momentum and a lot of attention because I was winning and I was doing really, really well. And then that sort of evolved into, and then Food Network got a hold of me, and then those doors opened and got on a couple of shows. I was on Barbecue Brawl. I was on Barbecue Pitmasters. That was really, really, that was like the granddaddy of the barbecue TV shows. That was on Destination America. That was like, John Marcus, executive producer, amazing visionary. That opened so many doors. I did really well. Got onto Chopped. One of the Chopped episodes. I was on it 3 times, came runner-up twice. The Pitmasters episodes that I was on, the 2 seasons, I came runner-up twice. And so I had, then the business started. It just went from a funsy when I had my day job and I would do this on the weekends to like people wanting to hire me to cook for their birthdays and weddings. And then somebody was at the wedding and then owned a big corporate firm. And then they're like, hey, can you cook for the corporate? And then weddings and then big corporate events. And then, and then it skyrocketed from there.
You're kind of killing me right now, actually.
Yeah, so I left my day job and then ended up
I'm
running
so hungry.
Sugars.
Oh my God.
I'm
Dude,
sorry, I don't have any food to feed
it's all right. It's I've seen a lot of your Instagram and your food looks amazing.
Thank you.
You were talking about how like architecture had a lot to do with like your passion at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of that, how you plate your food, like how you put things together.
Yeah, thank you.
My question is, how can I eat your food? When's the next time I can do this?
You got to hire me for private catering right now. I don't have a place. I don't, people ask me, it's like, are you going to open up a restaurant? Quite honestly, I just don't really have it in me to do that. I don't think I have the desire to do that. I think I would under special circumstances, as long as I was a part of a partnership. I just don't want to run the show by myself anymore. I just don't think I want to do that. It's not fun. When the fun quotient goes away, you got to get out.
Wow. I have a saying, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. It's been this way for like the last 2 decades, probably at least.
One of the things that you hear about, you're a business guy too, and you hear about it's like, love what you do and you never work a day in your life.
True and false, by the way.
It is, correct. However, the other half of that, from my experience, is that when you start basically like thinking of it as work and then you start hating it, you got to get out. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how much money you're making. I don't care how successful you are, because what's the point? You know what I mean? Like all the success in the world, and you could have all the trophies, and you could have the cars and the house, and you could have the watches and everything. You could have all those markers of success. But if you're not, if it's not in your heart and you're not happy with it, get the fuck out. Like get out. Because what is it? What are you doing? You're killing yourself. You know what I mean? Then that energy bleeds into other people. Then you start really resenting everyone, and then you're like grumpy all the time. For what? Because of this like standard that you have to life is too short, man.
Yep.
We all end up on a shelf or a box or under a tree. You know what I mean? Like, and this is where I'm at in my life, where it's like I'm in the second part of my life, and I'm like, all right, I want to make things mean more to me than just a paycheck, more to me than just a great car, a big house. None of that matters anymore to me. And like, and maybe this is a lot of people come to this realization in their midlife or whatever. And I don't think it's a midlife crisis, but I just think it's more of a realigned philosophy and a realigned vision, I guess.
You live other people's lives at the beginning. You live your parents' dreams. You live other people's dreams. You live things that you think people should do. And then you were talking about markers of success. Money isn't it, right? Like everyone assumes money is how you measure success. And to some degree it is, right? You need money to survive.
Yeah.
But success, it should feel different. It should make you happy. It should make you fulfilled. More importantly, it should make you inspire people. It should help make you want to help more people to be better, right? Yeah. I think that's what true success really means.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like, once again, like I've worked really hard to have the things that I have. And then when you get there, you realize now I want to do a whole lot more. Like I think that my calling in life now is to help more people figure out what we just figured out. Sure. Right.
Absolutely.
Sooner though. Right.
Yeah, but you have to get there. Right. And
you have to get there on your own too.
You have to get there, and you have to have an open mindset to adopting that philosophy. Right. Some people do it right off the bat. I didn't. I was kind of a slow learner, I suppose.
I was pretty rebellious when I was younger. Thought I knew everything.
Sure. Well, I mean, going back to what you were just saying, right? So when you're, from my own experience, when you're younger, you're constantly, you want the nice car, you want the money, that's important to you, right? Those statuses, you want a nice watch, you want a nice, you want a nice house, you want those markers of success. Unbelievable. And you're going to like ramrod and you're going to run over everybody and anything to get that, or at least that's where I was, right? So, I mean, with tact, of course, but at the same time, so say, okay, and then you're hungry, right? You're poor and you're hungry and you want to like just go forward, right? And so you want to learn and you want to get exposure and you want to beg, borrow, steal, rob, whatever you can, and then create your own signature, whatever it is, right? Design, food, whatever it is, right? And then you get there and you create your own version of that. You create a signature, and then now you're in it. Now you're loving life. You're great. You're traveling well, first class. You're, eating in airport lounges, and you're loving it. Everything is wonderful. And then you're like, all right, now what? Now what are we doing? Okay, now what? You're just going to keep going forward, which is great. You want to multiply. You want to divide yourself up. That's nice if you can. But where I was, like, I just got to the, you get to the point where, at least with my philosophy, you get to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm good. I'm comfortable, but I want to kind of go back a little bit because I want to start. It's not about replaying old music. It's more about really refining the definition of why I was doing what I was doing and really honing more skill. And it's almost like when you're young and you're a young cook, you want to use every spice in the pantry.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to make a stew with every single spice, and you want to use every kind of fun little technique. And then you present this wonderful dish, and it's got all kinds of different kinds of avenues that it's going and different things that it's trying to showcase with what, when you want to present your skill to everybody, and you want to do it in every way possible. But then the older you get, the more you want to just pull back, simplify and refine and really kind of dig deep into just a few elements and really make those shine, right? It's almost like painting with like one color, like this painting here, right? It's white, right? And using that white, instead of putting 20 different colors on there, you're using one and really making it work. But you have to get there. You have to learn how to do that. And by getting there,
you have to try, experiment, right?
Exactly. By getting there, you have to go forward, and you have to use all the colors in the palette to be able to pull back, right? So I'm not. This is nothing new, but it's new to me, and this is stuff. This is kind of this self-discovery.
It's funny that you say that about food, because I just started feeling that way about like video editing.
Okay, yeah.
I used to put all the transitions and all the things and just jam pack, and then now it's more about just pulling back, using less, but showcasing true emotions and things.
Less is more.
Yes.
Right? You've heard it, and it applies to almost every industry.
I didn't understand it before.
But you have to get there.
But now I'm starting to see it with food.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when I cook now, it's simple. It's right, but it's got to be done right. You got to put the love into it.
Yeah.
But it used to be, how many things can I put on this sandwich, or how many things can I put in this dish? Like, how can I just knock people's socks off, and like they've never seen these combinations? And it's not so much the combinations, it's the quantity of it.
Do you know what a Dagwood sandwich is? I'm dating myself here. Dagwood, it's from a comic strip. It's a sandwich. You can Google it, but it's a sandwich which is basically got, like, it's a sandwich that's like 3 feet tall, and it's got every like combination of sandwich within this, like 2 pieces of bread. It's like a bunch of sandwiches squeezed in. So the idea is like peanut butter jelly and ham and cheese and tuna, and then it's got this and this and hot dogs and everything. And the idea is that, it's just monstrous, right? It's incredible to look at, but you can't eat the thing. You know what I mean? So, but you have to get there, and you have to have that mindset. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life. And so now I'm here. And I'm so happy to be here. And I'm so happy to meet people and to learn about everything there is to know about Louisiana.
Well, I love your energy. I probably said that before, but
thank you.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it.
Thank you. I'm excited. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not burned out anymore. I've had a bunch of time off. And I'm very thankful that I've had time off, and I've been able to give myself time off so that I could reset. So now I'm coming out guns a-blazing, and I'm rebranding, and I've got some amazing people that I'm working with to help me in that effort, and then seeing what I can do and what I can bring to Southern Louisiana, especially Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas.
I just thought about this, but we're talking about the energy that you have. The first time we met was Fête Rouge. Fête Rouge was the first time that I walked around with the camera guy interviewing people, and I was so nervous. You
didn't come across that way. You were maybe it was all the wine. I don't know.
I keep it in. I keep it in pretty well. But I decided 5 months ago, maybe 6, that the world's changing and I need to be in front of the camera instead of behind the camera. So I've always been behind the scenes. I've always been just, in the restaurant or behind the camera or wherever it is, right? And then you start to realize that people don't know you exist if you keep doing that.
Sure.
And it's scary because it's not my personality. Well, it might be my personality now moving into it, but it wasn't my personality then. And I'd like to do things that scare me. I like to do things that challenge me to get out of my comfort zone. So that was the very first time. And I remember after I met you, that day, it might have been the wine kicking in, but I don't think it was. It could probably a combination of things, right? But
it's a lively bunch over there.
Yeah, but your energy, I was like, all right, let's do this. I was like, all right, you just came up and like, I was like, dude, we're going, right?
Yeah.
So I just flashed back to that. I didn't think about it in the moment, but thinking about it now, I remember like the Eat the Boot Boys are right here. You came through the middle. I had that spoon.
The spoon with the microphone. Right? I'm like, you know what? I want to get to know this dude.
So
I love that.
But that was my first time doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and then now we're here.
Well, I didn't even know about Fête Rouge, right? So I wasn't.
That was my first time too, by the way.
So it was Tony from Eat the Boot, one of the Eat the Boot guys who I've become friends with, and I really love those guys. I love what they're doing.
They're amazing.
I love everything they're
beings.
doing. And then and Joey's doing this 41 burgers in 41 days. I mean, I've been following this. He's nuts, but I love it, and I love their enthusiasm, and I love what they're doing. And they're not trying to be over the top. They're just this is where we like to eat, and this is what we're eating, and this is really awesome. Just bare bones, man, but I love it, and I love that. You know what I mean? It's not razzle dazzle, and it's not trying to be crazy influencer type stuff, which there's a million of them out there. I just like what they're doing. Anyway, there was an extra ticket, and he's like, "Hey, I have an extra ticket. Would you want to go?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Because brand new to town, I want to meet other chefs, shake hands, meet your, people like you, and then so I was living out of a suitcase at Jay's house. I had nothing to wear. So I found a nice top and like cleaned my jeans and like I just went, and it was awesome, and I had a great time.
It was fun.
Yeah. I don't drink all that much, but I'm telling you what, and I left there knowing and learning that you get more than two people together in this part of the world, it's a party. You guys like to party, and it's crazy, and it is awesome. And I had a blast. So I'm looking forward to it. And then there's the Epicurean Society, which I would love to be a part of. There's a event coming up that I've been invited to, so I'm going to go to that event. And
what event is that?
It's the end of the year banquet or something to that effect that they were doing. I don't know the exact name of it, but it's that kind of thing that's happening next week as we're taping this.
There's an LRA social tonight at Bin 77.
Oh, really?
I think 5 or 6. I'll give you the actual time.
Are you going to be there?
I'm on the board for the LRA, so we have a board meeting before that, and then we're doing the social after that.
I would love to be. Can I come?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. So I'll be there.
Dude, you'll be my +1. I don't think you need to be a +1. I think you just show up, but you and me.
Thanks, buddy.
It'll be cool.
I appreciate it. I like that. Yeah, I'm just, again, it's about meeting people, right? It's about putting myself out there and getting excited about it and seeing what happens, man.
It's so... The reason why I've, once again, behind the scenes person, I have a good group of people, which I thought that was my community, my tribe, right? Yeah. And then after COVID, I realized that, I kind of felt alone a little bit, and I was like trying to reach out, figuring out what's going on. And I found these people, and then they're just amazing. Like this entire, the people that you meet like regularly, those people are awesome. They fill your cup. They make you excited to keep doing what you're doing. They're an ear to listen to when you have problems. They're not, oh dude, they're just amazing people. So that's why I like events like that, because when you get there, you feel like family, That's
what I've discovered here. And there's that Southern hospitality, unless you're driving in this city. That Southern hospitality goes right out the window. But
we don't talk about that here.
there's that Southern hospitality where, I'm kind of more formalized. I'm like, well, are you going to this event? Well, I wasn't invited to this event and this and that. They're like, no, you're good. Just show up. Yeah. Like if it's an event, you're welcome. And I have to kind of train my mind for that. So under normal circumstances, I think that's how that works. But yeah, I mean, it like there are times when I could feel very alone here, but I'm still new, and I just moved into my little condo, downsized my life into this little condo, which I love, and I'm trying to create my own place within this place, and it's a little alien, it's a little new, and I'm meeting people and making friends, but it seems like it doesn't take very long to meet people here and reach out. I've met my neighbors and they're like, yeah, anything you need, let me know. And now we become friends. So it happens really fast. But I also think there's an energy, right? You know, I'm very gregarious. I love to be around people, and I like my alone time, as we all do, but I love being around people as well. So any chance I can get out, and it's not all about networking, and it's not all about business, but at the same time, you know, if it can evolve into that, even better. But that's not, by and large, like the backbone of why I want to meet people. I just want new friends. I want to learn more about this area. And, you know, I drove all over, where was it? All the rice fields that are out there and the sugar canes that are burning right now, and ate oysters and ate turtle sauce pecan, and, you know, went to like little hole in the wall places for boudin, and it was just awesome. And it's, again, going back to what we were saying, it's just discovery and it's inspiration. And it makes me fall in love with it even more, you know, even when it gets 95 degrees here, which will happen soon enough. And I know it's cold right now, but boy, I'll tell you what,
the
it's going to
food
get
makes
hot.
you forget about the heat.
I know. Well, you sweat it out of you.
But yeah, the people here, they're amazing. Like, I just now started to do more, and I'm almost kicking myself for not doing it sooner. You know, I mean, you work so hard, and you focus on, you know, creating and building and doing all these things. Yeah. And then you forget there's another area of life that you need to build too, which is your circle. You know? So yeah, it's gonna be fun today.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm just having a load of fun right now. I'm trying to figure out when the fun goes away. And from what I've seen, the fun doesn't really go away.
I was about to say, the fun goes away when you make it go away. You know?
And it's always something coming up, right? So right now we got Christmas happening. It's like Thanksgiving's done. We got Christmas happening. So that lot of stuff going around that. And then after Christmas, what happens? Then it's all about king cakes. It's all about crawfish seasons coming up, right? There's always a party around the corner. Yeah. There's always something.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
I love it here.
There's always an event. Always.
There is. It's crazy. But I think, you know, when you're in the trenches and you're wearing so many hats like I have been doing for a while,
that's all you see.
You can't see beyond that, you know, because you're just in the trenches. Right now, that's kind of, you know, I have the mental capacity to absorb that, to actually be observant, because it's not just focused on this, the groove where the needle is, right? And so it's fun, and I'm having a great time. And, you know, I'll get back to work. I'll get serious here in a little while, but right now I'm having a good time.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to eat some of your food.
You will.
Now.
You will. A lot of my people. So here's the deal. So yeah, I'm going to be cooking, and I'll just have you invite you over.
When was the last place that you cooked?
Last place I cooked pretty much was, I help Jay out with some catering, so I'm doing some of that. He's doing an event this weekend. I'll help him with that, and he had the blind dinner. That was pretty much the last place that I was cooking. So the Eat the Boot does these, basically they sponsor these blind dinners. They promote them, and they happen over like around restaurants around town. And Jay has one at his location at the end of the year, kind of wraps up the year. It's a big barbecue, live fire kind of thing. There's a ton of people that show up. It's a wonderful event. So that's what I was cooking. I did some salmon, and what else did I do? I did some lamb, and you know, and it gives me a chance to kind of put an apron on and showcase a little skill and doing what I love to do, and that's feed people. Absolutely. So that was the last place that I cooked. So at least that way. And then I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Albini at Jabby's Pizza. She does these pop-up dinners.
Oh, I've been seeing one that
this
lately.
Evening and doing one tomorrow. Lebanese, and she does Greek, and she does all these great Mediterranean style foods. So she and I are going to come together, and we're going to bring a little bit of the Northwest here, which has been my wheelhouse for the past 25 years. And so I'm excited to work with her, and she's building up the pop-up. So we're going to do more of those together. And then I would like to also do some pop-ups as well. I just need a location facility to do that kind of thing. So I'd love to be able to cook for some people. I've got some really great recipes and really great food that I want to showcase and feed people with. So
you just said so much already. What can we go back to the pop-up stuff? Can you tell me more about that? Because I just started following her on Instagram, so I don't really know much.
She's amazing. That woman is a one woman wrecking crew. She does her own breads. She does her own pastries. Does amazing desserts. Her flavors are outstanding.
My mouth is watering.
And I believe she's Syrian. I could be wrong, but I believe she's Syrian. But and I spent time in the Middle East as well many, many years ago. And the culture and the food there is amazing. Just colors and textures, brightness of food, and the vibrancy that she brings with flavors, and combined with her skill, and combined with the food that she finds here, and she brings it to people, and it's just amazing. It's amazing. She has these pop-up dinners that are invitation, and you buy tickets, you show up, and she hosts at one of her Jabby's pizza restaurants. She's amazing, and you sit down, and she just starts feeding you like you're in her home, and you leave your stuffed. There's so much food.
I love
She has an appetizer, and she's got a salad. She's got a cold item. She's got a hot entree or multiple hot entrees. She does her desserts, and she makes everything scratch. It's insane.
Ooh.
And it's the way that I do things. So I relate to that. And I've been invited to a few of them, and I've just been blown away every single time.
So when's the next one?
The next one's tonight.
Dang it.
And then tomorrow. And then I believe she's doing Syrian food, I believe. And then, but there's still, I don't know when this will air, but there's tickets available. But we're going to do, ours is going to be January. We have to set a date. I think it's 27th, I believe, in January. So be on the lookout for that. I'll announce it. You have to follow me on Instagram. It's chef_Lynnae Oxley. And that's where I post a lot of things, and any announcements I'll throw on. But I'm looking for places to cook. So if you know anybody,
is that your main platform, Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, but nobody uses that anymore. So Instagram.
They only use it because it's connected to Instagram. That's the only reason.
It cross posts,
yeah,
right? I'm a social media idiot. I honestly, it's so clunky right now, and I just take pictures and I post things and I tag people, and that's about as much as I do. So I need somebody to take over the reins professionally. And I've got somebody that's going to be doing that here pretty soon. So chef_Lynnae Oxley. That's
Very
where
cool.
I'm at.
This will probably be tomorrow morning, probably.
Okay, perfect.
It doesn't take long. Our editor's super fast.
Okay.
So he'll spit it out.
That's awesome.
Because the point is, if you're going to do one of these, like, it has to be immediate. Because the things that we talk about, they happen like today, tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
So if you hold on to it for a month, by that time it's old news.
It's all past tense. Yeah, absolutely.
And no one cares anymore.
Yeah.
And then also there's so much on my plate that if I don't constantly get things out, like off my plate, that plate just keeps piling up. And then that's, to me, that's where a lot of that overwhelm comes from. And I'm never going to let that happen. If I can control, if I burn out or not, basically, right? Because like that's what happens when you get overwhelmed and you don't know what to do. Then you start putting things off, and then it starts to pile up, and then you feel helpless, or you can't, you can't get out from underneath it. That's where it happens. But
yeah, you get overwhelmed, and I know for personal experience, my mind, it just it short circuits, and then it's like goes, and then that's it. The lights go out, and then I got to just take a step back, reset, and then I'm back at it. But
I feel like most creatives are like that.
Yeah, I mean, as a chef, you need to think on your feet, right? You need to make magic happen. All hell could be breaking loose. Fire could be burning all over the place, and you've got to make magic happen, and you've got to be in 20 different places at once. And to a certain extent, I can do that. But as I've gotten a little older, I don't want to be doing that as much as I used to. And sometimes, we're our own worst obstacles, right? Or something, right? And so we put a lot in our way that we don't need to then
and we'll justify it too.
Stymie some of the process, some of the momentum. We put hurdles and roadblocks.
I call it self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage, absolutely. I'm a victim of that more than a million times. So I'm learning,
we all
learning
are.
process.
I've learned, I've done it for, I've done a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes, and that's how the things that I talk about now, that's how I figure out how my life needs to go for me to be happy.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then I already know what's going to happen. Like I'm so stressed out. I got to do this. You're always, every day adds something else to your plate. So if you're not constantly taking things off, it just piles up.
Yeah. One thing I've learned also too is that you have to, because you can be there for everybody, but you have to be there for yourself. But you've got to learn that. And I learned that the hard way.
And I'm a people pleaser, so.
I am too. I think a lot of us are, because we're artists, right? We put something on a plate, on a canvas, whatever, because we put our soul out there and we want to make people happy. It doesn't always work, but at least we try, and then We fall down and we try again, and we fall down and we have successes, we have failures, but it doesn't stop us from continuing to put our plates out, right? Put another picture on the wall, put another plate of food out, put another production together. And you're not going to please everybody, but we try and try again. So, but it has to mean something to us. And we have to, with all the hard work and the success and the failures and the hurdles and all the things, you have to have time for yourself. I got to 50 plus years old to figure that out.
I love that you said that, because when this podcast started, friends were asking me, my sister asked me, like, do you really think it's going to blow up? And I was like, I'm not doing it for them. I told you, I did it to conquer my own fear.
Sure.
So I did it for me,
Sure.
But I also did it for the guests. So I could give content out to people, because once again, we talked about how many hours of content it takes for someone to get to know you.
Sure.
So getting noticed is kind of easy, right? You start winning competitions and you start to get people to, oh, I know who this person is.
Sure.
Or they can recognize you.
Sure.
And then you're good at what you do. So when they actually hire you, you're making money. But then that gap in the middle where you have to get known by people, that's the hardest part. And I feel like that's how this whole podcast thing started, was to give people content or material so people would get to know who they were. Because you don't have these conversations with just normal people on a day-to-day basis, right? Like it's kind of superficial sometimes. Hey, how's it going? It's going great. Good to see you. Glad you're here. But we rarely get to talk about where we've been, the mistakes that we've made, where we're going, the things that scare us. So I use the word therapy a lot. I feel like
Me too.
These podcasts, or at least these interactions, they're for me, they're for you. But when I leave here, I feel good.
Yeah, and therapy doesn't necessarily have to be so clinical.
No.
It can be whatever you want it to be, right? It could be going to the gym and working out. It could be going for a walk, getting some fresh air. It could be just sitting down and just having a little moment to yourself, or whatever. It could be any of that stuff, It could be taking a drive. I love doing road trips and just seeing the sights and stopping at a place that maybe you passed a million times or whatever, or just meeting somebody. And to me, that's therapy, putting some music on or whatever and putting your headphones on, that's therapy.
I like that you said that too. My wife and I, we decided to take a road trip to Dallas for New Year's as our Christmas gift for the family. I can't remember where it was, but my wife asked my kids, what was your favorite gift last year? And they couldn't remember, but they would remember where we went. So they're young enough now to where we don't focus on the physical gifts. They're getting things every day.
Yeah.
Amazon is a thing, dude.
Yeah, of course.
So they're not lacking for any physical gift, but we want to give them more experiences. So we usually fly places, but this time I suggested we drive. I hate driving, but hearing you speak about it just now, I want to shift my mindset into enjoying the sights. Because the reason why I wanted to drive was I wanted to be able to stop in more places.
Yeah.
But the actual drive from A to B kind of sucks for me,
Sure.
whatever B is, right?
Sure.
A to B to C.
Sure.
But I think after this conversation, I'm going to try to appreciate the drive more.
Sure.
Because it is just time with the family. It is time with the people that I love.
And you carve some time out for those people yourself. And, one of the things I've said in the past 2 years, as a matter of fact, more oftentimes than not, is that I don't need stuff.
Yeah.
If I want stuff, I can buy stuff. I have adult money, I can buy things, right? Amazon or wherever. That's easy. I have what I need. I have more than what I need. I got rid of tons of stuff before I moved out here. I reduced my entire life into a little pod container, right? I can't believe I got rid of most, all my grills, my smokers, all these.
Really?
Oh yeah, I can't. I didn't know where I was going to be living.
Oh, true.
I knew where I was going to be temporarily, but I didn't know where I was going to be for the more permanent situation and what kind of space I had, and so I got rid of everything. I figured, I could just reamass it, restock as I get here. Yeah, it was mind-boggling that I did that, but whatever. So. But I don't need stuff. I don't care about things to collect dust on the shelf. I don't care about that stuff. I want experiences. I want memories. To me, maybe that's an age thing. Going back to the beginning of the conversation, maybe it's you got to get there. Maybe it's more like when you're younger, again, you're moving forward. You want this, you're hungry, You get those things. You're not hungry anymore. You're satiated. And so you're like, all right, I can sit, I can coast a little bit. And now I can really kind of experience things. And I think less, your mind is not occupied with all the static about trying to knock over this and get this and that. You can actually listen to yourself and absorb the moment, the now, going back to what you were saying before. So again, these are things I've learned. And so I want experiences. So I'm able to book a cruise and to get experiences. I'm able to fly overseas and get experiences. I spent a little time in Malta. I have a friend of mine that lives there with her husband, and they have a life there now. They left the United States. They have a life there, and they're loving it. And it's awesome. I never even heard of Malta. You know, I'm college grad. I've never even heard of Malta. And so it's like, where the hell is Malta? And so it's a tiny little island nation. And I went there and it was amazing. And it was so amazing swimming in the Mediterranean and just being there. And it was just crazy. And it's like chaotic and it's crazy and it's compact and there's people driving all over the place. But the food is amazing. The people are amazing. And it's just an incredible experience. So again,
well, teach me something because I don't even know what Malta is. I've heard
Malta,
of it.
It's just it's its own republic and it's its own nation. It's comprised of a lot of people from Italy and Africa and Europe, and just they pile all in together and they just make a unit, and it's insane. The food's really good.
Oh man,
I ate horse meat for the first time.
How is that?
It's amazing. It's incredible. Again, as a chef, as somebody who is culinary, like defines myself with culinary experiences, I want to be able to eat as much as I can, try different things. So I'm not going to put a lot of wedge in between myself and maybe an experience. Maybe it's not the norm, but it is something.
You have to try it.
So I was on a menu and they had equine. They had horse meat. And I was like, you know what? I'm here. Just like when I was in Thailand, I ate bugs on sticks because I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this, right? I may not like it, but I have to try it. I'm here. That was the agreement I made with myself. And that was that. So I was in Vietnam and Thailand going around and trying street food and, and it was incredible.
I didn't eat the bugs.
I did. I ate the
Vietnam.
bugs. I ate the bugs. I ate the worms and I ate the crickets and I ate the scorpions and I ate the spiders and they
had like scorpion wine, I've had all of those, to eat the actual bug. I hate bugs to begin with.
It's all about texture.
Oh.
JP, it's all about texture, man. It all tastes the same. It all tastes like dirt.
I'll show you my YouTube right now. Literally last night, we watched people eating venomous bugs. My kid before we go to sleep. So we watch a lot of that, and it's always like, ooh, but we're watching it, so we're getting exposed to it. So if it ever happens, right now we're all saying like we're not going to do it, but when you put us in that situation, the energy is different. The feeling is different.
Sure.
You're gonna try it when you're there, right?
Sure.
And I know we're gonna travel, right?
So I was at this restaurant and they had their national dish is rabbit, like a stewed rabbit. They raise a lot of rabbits there. It's a very quick growing, cheap, high protein source of food, and it's wonderful.
Really high protein.
Very high protein, and it's low fat, and it's just, and you can grow tons of rabbits in a very small and confined spot. They're easy to process. They keep, and they're universally enjoyed. But they also have a lot of horse meat as well. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm here. I'm going to try it. And I tried it. And if I gave you a bowl of this stuff and I didn't tell you that it was horse meat, you think it was beef. It was so beefy and so rich. It was a tiny little bowl of stew. And it was almost like a beef bourguignon style done with very rich red wine and very robust flavors, but all stewed down. And I couldn't finish it. It was so rich, so amazing. And would I eat it again? Sure. Am I going to seek it out? No, but it was there. And again, it's an opportunity, and I'm gonna take advantage of that opportunity.
I would definitely try horse meat for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's not. People are very against it, whatever. But like, again,
it's just food.
Yeah.
I'm
from the philosophy, and maybe people don't agree, but if you're going to call yourself a chef and you're going to call yourself a foodie, eat food and try things out of your wheelhouse.
You can't just try things from the United States.
Don't just keep in the same and eat this. No, try it.
Don't make the judgment until you try it.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I love about living here, I'm telling you guys, if it slithers, if it hops, if it crawls, if it jumps, walks, you'll eat it. If it's got 4 legs, 2 legs, fins, feathers, fur, scales, you guys will eat it. It's amazing. If it swims, flies, you guys will eat it. I love it here.
And then all of a sudden we're gonna be like, ew, we're not gonna eat horse. It's weird. We do eat a lot of weird stuff over here.
It's funny. I asked some of these people, and I was in Budapest, and I was in Prague, and they have a lot of horse meat there as well. I'm like, where do you get all the horse meat? I was asking butchers. I'm like, where do you get it? United States and Canada. That's where they get it from.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I looked at him. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, United States and Canada. I'm like, there you go. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I'm going to have to look into this because I want to know why. Are we raising these things to send over there and no one knows about it? Or are we just sending them like old things?
I think it's a combination. I don't think it. I don't know. I don't know that part of it, but I think there's a processing industry here, especially in Canada and here. It just goes under the radar. It's not because people don't think of horses as a food source, but it's a protein food source, right? So just
That's a lot of meat. That's a big animal.
Yeah, it is a giant animal, and it's lean. When have you seen a fat horse?
Ooh.
Those things are muscular.
Like,
they're muscular, you know? But yeah, aside from that, I mean, if it's there on the menu and I'm hungry.
I'm gonna try it. Like my sister's
and
just like that too.
And it's all about Mediterranean. So they have a way with octopus. They do octopus like it's some of the best octopus I've ever had.
Very good.
Incredible.
I have a
travel and eat and meet people and see the sights and smell the smells and get lost.
The octopus thing is once I started like watching videos about like how smart they are and all the feelings that they have, you know, especially when you eat like live octopus or when people do. I've never done it. But even now, that's what I think about.
I won't do that.
You know, it's like
I do have ethics, morals.
Yeah, right. And so I think about that now, and it kind of makes it not taste as good now.
No.
You know, I don't know why. The video ruined it for me. But yeah.
People do incredibly horrible things to other people and animals for the sake of food. So I believe in ethical husbandry of animals. I believe in sustainable agriculture and ranching and fisheries. And I believe in like we don't have to catch every fish in the ocean and process every cow and chicken and pig. And, you know, there are other food sources. I think it's important to spread it out a little bit and not be so one-sided, narrow-minded with food. I think there's a lot of different kinds of food sources that are out there, and I'm willing to try them all.
Me too.
You know,
I love experiences.
Absolutely, yeah.
Experiences with people, because I tend to not remember what I did, but I will remember who I did it with.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, experiences, absolutely, yeah. And as I've gotten older, that's most important to me. You know, it's like the people that you meet right along the way, and. Sure, I mean, if they can help open a door for you and push you in a direction or whatever, I think it's communally beneficial, right? Cooperative, right? Things you can do and help me out, vice versa. Influences that you can put me in front of and inspiration that I can lend to you and I can give you to make you maybe think about something that you didn't think about before. To me, that's win-win.
I mean, you just changed my mindset on road trips and horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
you know, I didn't grow up with a lot of money. My parents didn't have money, but we had everything that we needed, right? We always had clothing. We always wore today's fashions next year.
Yeah.
You know, we were always a year late. We always had food in the fridge. We had a roof over our heads. My parents,
to me, that is
busted their ass to raise us. We were in sports. We swam. We ran track. We did soccer. We were hungry. We went through a ton of food, but we never went hungry, right? We didn't grow up with house cleaners and fancy cars and stuff, but we took trips. We went to Europe. We went to Paris. We went to Canada. We went all over the country. And to me, that helped shape the person I am today. And I tell people, it's like, you know, just like you want to take your kids on a road trip or put them on a plane and just give them some exposure. You know, take the Nintendo Switch out of their hand or whatever and say, look at what's around you. You know, we live in a society right now that's just instantaneous. Like we have everything we need at our fingertips, and it's awesome and it's great.
It's very cool.
But at the same time, if that's how you're learning and that's the only exposure you're getting, and you lose sight of the real world around you and the people that make that happen, then to me, you're losing out. Because you're losing out on all these like little experiences within all of that construct. And that's bad. That's bad. Because then you can't have a conversation. Then you're stuck. You're stuck with what's being spoon-fed to you by whoever's behind the scenes making that news and making that information. And that's one of the biggest issues with society right now.
Once again, octopus,
and that's a pedestal that's for another time.
Yeah.
But this society goes by us at 100 miles an hour, and we lose it all the time.
I agree with you.
It's almost like that philosophy of you gotta stop and smell the roses kind of thing. And there's a lot of truth to that, right? And I believe, at least when I was a kid, I was receptive to it, even at the moment, right? I knew that something was going on. I knew this was really cool. You know, when I got to be a teenager, I had friends that went to sleepaway camp. I wished I was going to sleepaway camp. I wanted to go to sleepaway camp and do archery and ride horses and do all those things that my friends were doing. But my parents were like, no, we're going to Hawaii. No, we're going to Europe. Okay, great. Put me on a 747 across from Miami to Paris, Miami to London. And I had those experiences, different smells, different sights, different people, you know?
All of those.
All of those things, right? Eating at a place and being on a bus. And to me, that's invaluable. Because as I sit here at 56 years old, and I don't mind revealing my age, I don't care, I have no secrets. I remember those times when I was 6 years old vividly, and what I was eating and where I was and what I was doing. Ask me what I did yesterday, that's a different story.
Yeah.
You know? But so give your kids that opportunity if you can, obviously. You know, don't kill yourself to do it, but, you know.
I've already decided. I have a 6 and a 3. When the 3 turns 4,
and they're like perfect age for that.
We're about to do a whole lot more.
Yeah.
My partner just went to Disney, and he has a 6 and a 4.
Yeah.
And he was like, I probably would have waited until she was 5 so she could truly enjoy it. You know,
sure,
she didn't get all cranky, you know, in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, because I was going to take my kid at 4, and I was like, well, that makes sense because Disney's expensive, but I'd rather go other places where it's not so. It's sensory overload in Disney. You know what I mean? So I want to bring them to, like, we'll go to Dallas. We went to North Carolina. We're going to Boston for Easter. You know, like we're going.
Perfect.
We go as many places as we can. You know?
Yeah.
I try to do a vacation every quarter at least.
That's if you can do that and swing that is even better than a once a year kind of, you know, get it done and then you have to wait a whole nother year. That's wonderful if you can swing that. Even it doesn't have to be something exotic and crazy.
It just has to
crazy
be
expensive.
not here.
It just has to be not here.
You know?
Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your like immediate environment. Right?
Some of our best friends live in New Orleans, so we go there a lot. My wife's family lives in Mandeville, so we go there a lot. My sister lives in Houston. We do not go over there a lot. We should a little bit more, right? But we have all these places that we can go, and when we do go, it's energizing. It's because I feel like if it's energizing for me, I can only imagine how they're taking all these things in, because if I'm trying new things when I'm there, I know for sure they're trying new things, right? So, and I forget from their perspective, like how awesome that is. Because I'm thinking it from like, I want to share this with them. You know, it's cool for me, but you forget like the wonder and awe that they must be experiencing, you know, when they... we just went to New York. Well, my wife and I did with some friends of ours, so not our kids. But the whole time we were there, we're like, we can't wait to bring our kids. Yeah, you know, like I want them to see this. I want them to smell how stinky this is. You know, like, but it's part of the whole experience. You know, like just because something's dirty doesn't mean it's not beautiful. You
know, when you're a kid and you go to Paris and you go to the Louvre. You know, when I was a kid, and this was way back in the day, you know, you go see the Mona Lisa, and back then you could just walk right up to it. I mean, it wasn't like encased and everything. You just walk right up to us, right on the wall like this is. And it was like a little rope in front of it. And that's about the extent of the protection that they had. There wasn't any guards around it. It was just, that's the Mona Lisa. But you're there in the same room as this thing, right? This thing that you read in history books and art books. And you're there, you're looking at it. These big, huge, monstrous Monet paintings that are just like take up the whole wall. And you're like, oh my gosh. And you could just walk into this
the scale,
painting. The scale, it's amazing, right? Because you see these things in books versus when you're there.
You don't,
you know, like, the Grand Canyon, for instance, right? You see these in photographs, but you don't know how amazing it is until you're there. You're like, oh my God, this thing is incredible.
I'm
it's
a
in my
tiny
backyard.
speck, you know, but when you see it all in one, like one little small piece of paper, you're like, oh, the Grand Canyon. Cool,
Again,
I got it.
Experiences, right? Experiences rather than stuff on the wall and stuff on the shelf that collects dust. That's important too, I guess.
I think it's stages. You
Yeah.
go through like the I want everything stage, and then you're like, well, now what?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
cool.
But your kids are, if they're absorbent
Mm-hmm.
and they can put the phone down a little bit and just like absorb what's around them. That's pretty cool. I remember when I was a little kid and we went into France, Brittany, and we're eating oysters in Brittany and walking around streets. And it was just, it stunk. And it was just smelled like old seafood
Yeah.
and cigarettes. And I will tell you this, if you haven't experienced this, when you go to Europe, I'm just throwing Europe out here. There is nothing that smells like a boulangerie, like a bakery in Europe. There's nothing in the world that smells that way. I don't care where you are. You walk in, even if you don't have to eat anything, whatever, there's that smell that you just can't get anywhere else. You just can't. The coffee machine's going, the espresso machine's going, and it's mingled with the melted butter smell and the pastry, the laminated pastries that are baking. And it's the bustle and hustle of the people that are talking, and it's mixed all together. You go into a bistro, and it's the clinking of the glasses and the plates. It's the wine pouring. You're smelling food cooking, and the chefs are running around. The servers are running around, and the hustle and bustle. There's nothing that you can't put that in a capsule. You know what I mean? You got to experience. You got to walk in there and experience that. When you're walking around Saigon, for instance, and you've got motorcycles that are going around you and scooters are going around you, people yelling and screaming, and people selling eggs and soap and produce, and there's meat hanging from hooks on tables, plywood tables, and there's no refrigeration anywhere, and it's incredible. Like you walk around and it's amazing. When you're in Singapore and you're going into Little India in Singapore, and you go to the hawker market stalls there, and there's hundreds of them. And they're all like shoving out all this Indian food. And you go to these markets and they're chopping up mutton, and they've got fish on ice, and they've got chicken, and it stinks. It's terrible in there, but it's amazing.
It's so cool.
And you walk around and it's just insane. I wouldn't trade that for the world, man.
I love listening to you talk about this.
It gets me excited to talk about this. And I'm glad I almost pretty much took a year off. I was really thankful and very grateful I could do that and take a year off. And I just decided I'm going to go out and I'm going to knock some bucket lists off. I'm going to see the world. I'm going to like book trip after trip after trip. And I'm going to go and I'm going to experience it. And I did it both solo as a solo traveler, which is a fun way to travel, and with people that join me in the whole process. And I would go to Singapore, and I've been to Copenhagen and all around Amsterdam and Germany. I went to Auschwitz and saw that, and that was heavy and it was awful, but it's part of history, and it's there, and it's visceral. I mean, you're there and you're like, oh my God, this is, ugh. But you're in Hofbrau's and you're eating this stuff, and it's just like people running around you drinking beer, and they've got the Oompa band going, and it's insane. It's crazy. And it's pretty amazing. Get out and travel, man.
Yeah.
Really travel. If you can, do it. That's one thing my mother told me. If you can, you do. Give of yourself, right? Be generous with your time. Be generous with your money if you can. And don't forget to like take care of your house. And I neglected that for a lot of years. And that got the better of me, and that's why I burned out. So here I am. Excited.
Yeah.
Excited, ready to knock over stones, and ready to, like, I have that energized effervescence about me, right? I like wanting to just go and meet and cook.
You're jazzing me up.
I'm ready to cook. Like, I'm ready to go full throttle again, but this time having some experience and having some time. I think everybody, if they can, take some time off, man.
So
call it a sabbatical, call it whatever. And I've been in the process of writing this book. I'm in the middle of this book, and it's been kind of so in the back burner for a long time, and I need to kind of finish this book up.
What's the book about?
It's a cookbook, but it's also it's a family history of my experiences and things that my mother cooked, things that my father cooked. I think they weren't chefs, they weren't cooks, but they had their own food that they made, right? And I grew up with that, and that is near and dear to my heart. And to this day, I try to replicate what my mother used to do and my father. They're long gone at this point, and I can't. but I can try. And so these are, it's sort of kind of a memoir, kind of autobiographical, but it's also, about food. That's the backbone of it. So it's a little bit of a different, rather than just a cookbook.
I'm sure it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. But the problem is I just keep wanting to add more and more and more to it. So I think I'll finish it in 2030.
So it's never ending.
It's never ending. Yeah. So I need to buckle down and lock myself in a room and just crank it out.
Just finish the first book and then do a second book.
Yeah, and that's exactly. Some people said, just get something out, Lynnae. So that's going to be my take priority here pretty soon. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I love reading other people's cookbooks, especially when they're like that about where I grew up, why I love the food that I do. Everyone's a little bit different. And I like to see why people appreciate the things that they do. I know why I appreciate the things that I do.
Sure.
And sometimes I appreciate things for a different reason than you would appreciate things for. So when I can see someone else's perspective, it's always, it's nice.
And we're sitting here as adults, talking like that because we can, right? Because we've lived the life. We've got a lot of miles under our belts.
We live for ourselves now.
Yeah. And there's some successes that we've had. Absolutely. It hasn't been without some bumps and scrapes along the way, but we can get to the point where we can allow ourselves to enjoy it and to be responsive to it, be receptive to it.
I feel like we're more open-minded now. Our 100%. Eyes are wider.
100%. Yeah. I like to think I am,
I'm sure it's gonna get better as we go through life a little bit more, but I wish I would have had this when I was younger.
You can be open-minded as long as you allow yourself to think beyond your circle. That's from my experience. If you're constantly just putting yourself in a box, you can't be open-minded about it, right? If you constantly have this one way or the highway mentality, you can't be open-minded.
Yes.
You've got to be open-minded about it. We were talking earlier about management philosophy,
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Let's go back to that because I do want to know. What is this mushroom thing that you were talking about?
It's not revolutionary. It's like, how do you make a mushroom grow? Put it in the dark and feed it bullshit. Seriously. So some people, it's like, that's, some people's philosophy on management is just that. Put people in the dark, feed it a bunch of bullshit, and they'll grow. It'll grow. You'll have a mushroom out of it. But it's going to be lifeless. It's just going to be there. It's going to exist, right? You want to, and sometimes that's a necessity. Sometimes you need to do that. You don't need to help inspire everybody. You just need to get the job done, right? I get it. I'm there, But I've never
keep it in the dark and feed it bullshit.
I've never liked that. For me personally, I've never been happy with that.
No,
I'm restless. I don't like staying still for very long. I can't sit still very long.
I'm the opposite of that. I'm like, dude, I want you to see as much light as possible. I want to give you everything. I'm so big on transparency. If I have it, too. You can have it.
Yeah.
Because I can't grow if you don't know what I know. And why would I keep it away? Why would I keep it from you? I've been talking about this bartending video I made, and now I've just shared it with everybody. I put it on YouTube now. Because at first I thought of it as a competitive advantage for me and my team, right? And I was like, and then the saying that I think about a lot is your success doesn't take away from my success. So just because I give this to you doesn't take away from my team, but somehow we always think, business terms, competitive advantage, like this is how we're going to make money over somebody else. And it's like, is that really the industry that we're in though? I don't think so.
I think it's like, I think to a certain extent that's healthy because it gives you the one up maybe on the next guy, so to speak. But at the same time, it's going back to what I was saying earlier is like, what good is all this knowledge tucked in your head if you can't share it?
It doesn't push you to grow.
That's, I want you to learn. I want you to teach you to cook and to see things the way that I see them, kind of break rules a little bit. Think outside the box, so to speak, think outside the bun, so to speak. So that you can approach something and go,
think outside the bun. I might use that today.
Oh yeah, use it. Yeah, you can use anything
Think outside the bun.
Yeah. My language is your language. Whatever you want. And so again, it goes back to wanting to share the wealth, and I think certain secrets are healthy because you don't want to let the cat out of the bag on everything, of course. But once you're there, then But you just have to get there. You know, again, it goes back to when you're young and hungry, you just want to, you want a little bit of advantage to get to the next guy. I think that's being an entrepreneur. I think that's being a competitive spirit, right? I mean, I was in competition barbecue. I'm not really, I mean, I swam competitively, but I sucked at swimming competitively. I was always the last, but I was always on the team. I don't know how, but I got a lot of exercise out of it, right? But I enjoyed it, doing laps up and down and up and down. But it was the team and I enjoyed the team. So, but as a competitive barbecuer, right? Okay, well, what's your secret to why are you winning brisket all the time? What are you doing? Are you putting coffee in it? What is your secret? And so, you know, and little by little, you kind of let secrets out, you share things. Somebody, maybe a team that's like brand new and you want to get them inspired. When I was doing competition barbecue, I would go to these competitions and I was known as a team to beat. Like I was high up on the totem pole over there and I worked for it, right? And I was lucky and I had really good skills as a chef and learning about live fire cooking, barbecue, and learning about competitive barbecuing, food sport, which is a whole different ball game. You don't eat a plate of competitive barbecue, can't. It's just over the top. But I would always ask the organizer if I could be put next to a brand new team, so that I could maybe mentor them.
Oh.
By and large, they knew who I was. I would roll up on a site. Everybody knew who Lynnae Oxley was and Sugar's Barbecue was. So, but I would always want to get to a new team because maybe I had something that they didn't. Maybe I had extra garnish and they forgot a garnish. Maybe they're just new at this and they have no idea. And I don't want them to go into a parking lot and cook a bunch of meat and get their ass handed to them and then they never show back up again. Because what good is that? By wiping the floor with them, right? So again, I want to win handily, but at the same time, I also want them to feel like they're not just getting their asses kicked and then we never see them again. How do you build up the sport with that philosophy? You know, you can't. So, in my opinion, so I would always get next to a new team, go over there and introduce myself, lend them like, what do you need? An extra injector? Do you need like, I have extra seasonings? Did you forget paper towel? It's something like that, right? And share a moment with those guys and say, hey, if you need anything, let me know. And, you know, and then off to the races myself and doing my thing, what I need to do. But you start to let your secrets out just a little bit, you know, what you do with your brisket, what you do with your pork, your ribs, or why are you always winning, or why are you always doing top 10 or top 3 or whatever it is. And so, and then you do classes and then you kind of just and let it all out. And I'm like, all right, this is what I've been doing. Now you guys know. But I mean, if I told you everything that I was doing and you went to your little,
the exact same
your
way.
little, you know, booth in the parking lot and you made your ribs and stuff, you couldn't replicate them. I had people in my booth over my shoulder watching what I was doing. They couldn't replicate it.
I've learned
because it's
that.
in your head. It's a whole philosophy.
I've learned that more like so. We were just talking about the MOM method that I have. I used to keep that secret too. And now I realize I can give you everything that I have and you still can't do it.
I could give you all my seasonings, my injections, all my rubs, my starts, finish, all the things, the times, temperatures, my wood blends and all the rest of that stuff. And you still
won't do it.
You might come close,
like me.
but it's a mindset, right?
Yep.
So
it's, you're right about that. Which is why I'm so open with things now. I don't just... Because if I can tell you something and you make it a little bit better, I just won.
When I was traveling around, especially in Budapest and in Prague and in Salzburg, I took some cooking classes. Like I went to Viator or wherever it was, and I took a couple of cooking classes. These are just like elementary 1, 2, 3 cooking classes. But I wanted to learn from somebody that was a chef there or just somebody that was running a cooking school and how to do really good goulash or how to do really good chicken paprikash or, you know, something to that effect, like what they're doing. And I've made all these before, of course, but I didn't make it there and I didn't use their ingredients, like their paprika that they source there. You go to the markets over there, it's just paprika everywhere and it's awesome, but it's not, you can't get it here. You know what I mean? Different flavor profiles and different ideas. And so I was there and very quickly they learned that I was a chef and very quickly, like somebody knew who I was, somebody would research it and then bloop and out. And so then it was like, then they had a chef there and not that I'm king shit. I'm not like, but I just was there. I'm like, they're like, oh, well, Lynnae, you could probably do it better. I'm like, no, I'm here. I want to learn what you're doing. Like, I'm not here to steal anything. I want to learn what you do. And I was just there and making apple strudel and like doing all these things that I've done before, but I didn't do it there. And it was a wonderful experience. And I travel and just take us some cooking classes. It doesn't matter how much you might learn. I took some when I was in Thailand, making pad see ew or, pad thai and just learning how to do stuff, making salad rolls. I mean, I've made a million of those things, but still I haven't done it there. Right. So, and it was so much fun.
I want to take more cooking classes.
Yeah. No matter how much you know, and this is what keeps me going with culinary. No matter how much you know, you don't know everything. No matter how much you've learned, you still don't know everything there is to know about it. And that to me keeps me going because I don't know everything there is to know about Southern food or gumbo or etouffee or how crawfish are raised and cooking them and this and that, right? I've done all that, but I've not done it the way you do it. And the way that Auntie Mimi does it or whatever. And like, I want to learn that. And I went to the place out in God knows where it was. And I went and had turtle sauce pecan. Like I'd never had that before. I've eaten turtle meat before, but I didn't have that. It was awesome. It was great. It was a great experience. Right. So.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was just saying that about Thanksgiving.
So much food around here, JP. It's unbelievable.
It's most Thanksgivings, I'm probably like 3 different places. This Thanksgiving I only went to one. So the pros and cons, it's less stressful because you're only going to one place.
Yeah.
The con is I only got to eat one family's cooking. And then I had the idea, because we were talking about it at the restaurant. I was like, next year, because by this time everyone had already eaten their leftovers, but next year, the day after Thanksgiving, I want to trade leftovers with people. I want to see how their families cook.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because that's what I miss most about going to different places is everyone cooks a little bit differently.
Yeah.
It could be the same green bean casserole, the same mashed potatoes, but it's just a little bit different. And I just love that. Because it shouldn't be different, right? Like if you're thinking about mashed potatoes or mashed potatoes.
Sure.
But I know my mashed potatoes taste different than other people's mashed potatoes. Maybe I use more heavy cream, maybe whatever it is, right? But I love when like people, that's what I'm doing next year for sure. I'm actually going to put that in my calendar when this is over, so I remind myself to get it done.
Okay, so put that also in your calendar. You and I are going to have some Thanksgiving dinner together,
nice.
so we'll trade. Yeah,
dude, I love it.
So I was invited to a couple this year, and I went to one with a dear friend, and it was awesome. It was just a small group, but I kid you not, there was a deep fried turkey, 2 Cajun stuffed chickens, pork chops and gravy over rice, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole.
Killing me again, dude.
Sweet potato casserole, deviled eggs, 4 pies. Like, y'all like to eat around here, and I'm here for it. It was amazing. I couldn't eat any, I had little bits and pieces, But it was man, it's good stuff. It was great. I'm like, not just a turkey, deep fried turkey, 2 chickens, and a ham. There was a ham. Because, why not?
You got to have a ham, yeah.
You got to have a ham and deviled eggs. I mean, deviled eggs is mandatory.
Yeah. All right, so before we go, I have to ask you this question.
Ask me anything you want.
This Christmas, I am deep frying a turkey, a duck, some chickens, and probably anything else I can deep fry. But those are the proteins for sure that I'm deep frying. My question is, do I do the duck first and then let the duck fat render and then cook the rest of it? Or should I cook the turkey and then the chickens and then the duck last to keep the flavors separate?
So you're deep frying it all? Okay, so
I'm frying everything.
Yeah, absolutely 100% unequivocally start with the duck. Yeah, prick the skin a little bit, Chinese style, Asian style, with a fork, so that it can help render out. Deep fry the crap out of it, which would be perfect.
Because I think it's going to impart
it'll render
flavor.
some of that duck fat. I mean, who doesn't like duck fat?
That's my favorite. Actually, I love duck.
Then go with the turkey because that's going to take the longest, and then throw some chickens in because those don't take very long at all.
I asked a lot of people this question already because I can see it from both sides.
Yeah,
but I am also leaning toward duck first.
And make yourself some. I mean, if you're going to that extent, get yourself some potatoes or something and make some fries out of it and throw the fries in there too because they're going to taste.
We're cooking everything in there.
Okay, I'm coming
over. I think we got some Brussels sprouts going on too. Because I thought for sure I was cooking Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
But we went to my wife's family's house, and so my wife runs the family. So she,
of course. As she should.
It's hard to think about what I need to do and then all of these things to do with the kids because I want the family. I want the kids and I want to be able to go all of these things, but I also have to do what I need to do too. My wife is awesome at like taking over that side of things, and it's the one time. It's not really the one time, but it is a time where I don't have to think. I just show up. Like vacations, she booked everything for New York, all the restaurants, the reservations, where we're going, what I'm wearing. Like I worried about nothing. Like my buddy asked me, so what's going on? I was like, dude, I don't know. I was like, I know she put the flight in the calendar and that's all I know, man.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. Well, you're running restaurants. So, you've got your hands full.
I think
so. If you can have somebody that you trust enough that they can, yeah. So that's a lot. If you trust somebody to book your flight, that man, I'm telling you what, I don't like anybody booking my flight. I
need my wife.
That's in that. Well, yeah. Well, being single has its advantages sometimes.
We're talking about partnerships before. And
Yes.
if you were going to do a restaurant again, you'd have to have the right partner. That's a lesson that I've learned probably in the last 15 years. I'm always, once I'm behind the scenes, I can do everything by myself. Like, if you can't do it, I can do it better and faster, right? All of those things I used to think about. And then that also boiled down to like how I manage my team. When I was there, like running things day to day, when my partner was there running things day to day, our culture was unstoppable because we ran the culture. We decided who stayed, who needed coaching. And the problem is you can't do more if that's what you're always doing.
Correct.
So my part now is trying to teach other people how I would run things, how I treat people, and how we get the results that we get.
Sure.
So the results parts right now is a little bit harder because of the teaching part, because it takes so long to teach people how to do things the exact same way that you would do it.
Sure.
And I'm not talking like how to order food or, like how to place an order or something, it's like, how do you treat people to get the most out of them? Because when you walk into a restaurant, it's really not always about the food anymore. To me, it's got to be about the experience. It has to be about how you feel when you leave. And it's so hard to teach that.
Yeah.
Even people with like hearts of gold. Like you can't teach that 100%.
I agree with you.
So the partnership part, and my wife brought it up, like we just brought it up by talking about her, but there's so many things that I want in life and I know that I can't do it by myself anymore, but I want to continue doing more things. So that means I need to broaden my circle, I need to trust more people and I need to find like a better tribe, and that's the lessons that I'm learning right now. And which is why, we go to things like the LRA and Epicurean, and, we go till we can meet people so we can broaden our circle. And that's why I'm so excited that you came by today because wow, this was such a good conversation.
Yeah, I agree. And we
didn't even scratch the surface of the things that you've done. We didn't talk about the Northwest a lot. Yeah. Well, I always do. I haven't done it yet, but I always will do more. I've already decided I'm not going to be one of those people that only bring people on once. I'm not collecting podcast guests.
Sure.
I'm having conversations for me.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's great. Because you can really dig, and that's great.
We can build on this conversation next time.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Yeah.
So
absolutely. Let's share a meal too.
But we'll see you tonight.
I want to, slurp some noodles or something. So we'll see each
hell
other
yeah.
tonight.
I'm into it.
Let's do it. Awesome.
I love the words that you use too, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Well, the caffeine's good. The caffeine was strong this morning. I actually got a full night's sleep, so
you're so
hallelujah for that.
descriptive.
I'm very thankful. So thanks.
You bring memories to life
Thank
almost.
You. Thanks.
So, well, dude.
I can only share what I know, right? I can only share experiences, and I'll never sort of, I don't bullshit anything. This is from my own experiences, and my way is not necessarily always the right way. It's just
it's your way.
It's just,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm here to learn, and I'm here to eat. I'm here to meet people. I'm here to learn and listen and lend a hand when I can and answer questions when I can. And
you're living life the right way for sure.
I'm trying. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You're awesome.
Well, we're going to do this again. Well, thank you for coming in.
I can't wait. Thank you.
So, sorry, Jeff. Jeff walked over like twice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I saw you. I was like, oh, shit.
Well, I know how long he talks and how long it takes to wind down, so I gave him a 15-minute.
You gave him a heads up. See, look at you, smart. Like, that's how you know your partner.
If I did it at 10:45, we wouldn't be done until 11 something.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
I have so many things I want to know and like things I want to ask and like,
save them for next time.